It's now time for Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. It began as a podcast, went live on the net, and transformed into a full-blown empire. It's the only daily boxing talk show on the planet, hosted by the only guy with the balls to do it. Many have stepped into the ring. Many have tried to take the belt. And one by one, they've fallen. Another victim of the undisputed heavyweight champion of Boxing Talk Radio. Talkin' Boxing with Billy C is on now.
My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart.
Coming to you live from the Billy C Studios in Lake George, New York. I'm Bill Calogero, and it's time for the Billy C Show. Good morning, good day, good evening, whenever you're listening. I want to give or watching, because I want to give a special shout out to all of our viewers on our multiple platform television networks. Good morning, or good day, or good evening, whenever you guys are watching. And I want to give a shout out to everyone on our experimental Facebook live stream, which incidentally, if you guys are watching on Facebook, I know how you love Facebook, but come on over. We do have the same television feed simulcasting up on our YouTube channel. So if you want to check out the full video version of the show, check us out on YouTube. You can go to BillyCBoxing.com or just go to YouTube/Talkin'. Talkin, Boxing, Boxing. Today's show is being brought to us in part by Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria and Italian Restaurant, located on St. Simon's Island in Georgia. Check out the website, www.salsneighborhoodpizzeria.com, or give my man a call, 912-268-2328, 912-268-2328. Find out why I go all the way to St. Simon's to get a decent slice of pizza and fine Italian cuisine. Today's show is also being brought to us in part by the next Billy C's get-together, and that's taking place on August 25th and 26th. We're holding a 2.5, maybe 3-day event at the beautiful Sea Palms Resort on St. Simon's Island. A lot of stuff will be happening, including a meet and greet with some celebrities. I'll give you a couple of names. How about former world champions Bobby Ches and Mike Weaver? How about renowned boxing trainer out of Tampa, Sherman Henson, and the infamous Jeremy C. himself will be there, along with Sal and myself, and then some. Our list has not been completed yet, so we'll keep you updated on that. We're going to do a little golf tournament. We will be showing the media circus known as McGregor Mayweather, and we are also going to be filming our next Billy C's Boxing Revisited. That Pokey Pig taught me how to speak, but Boxing Revisited, and you guys are going to be part of the audience. And then, of course, we're all going to truck over and invade Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria. So make sure you get yourself set up now. Just visit our website, BillyCBoxing.com, and click on the Sea Palms banner. And finally, today's show is being brought to us in part by my book, Tom Molyneux, From Bondage to Baddest Man on the Planet, can be found where all good books are found. Yeah, or you can get it where all good books are gotten. I don't know. Buy a copy. You can get it at BarnesandNoble.com or Amazon.com. If you want a signed copy, just visit the website, BillyCBoxing.com, and click on the book. Can't miss it. Today, there's a lot of really good fights scheduled for this weekend, beginning tonight. And we're going to focus most of the show on those fights, breaking them down, giving you our predictions, etc. We do have some emails to read. And Dax Khan will be joining us a little bit later. He was at the latest circus known as McGregor Mayweather in New York City at the Barclays Center yesterday. He'll give us a hands-on report there. But before we get going, I just want to bring up two things about McGregor Mayweather, which, listen, it's the only thing in the news today, unfortunately, in boxing, which is sickening for us, diehard boxing fans. But, I knew it was a matter of time when it was going to happen. And it happened yesterday. All of a sudden, the race card has been pulled out. You know, I really had hoped and prayed that it wasn't going to become a racial issue. It's bad enough that we have the fight, which is not going to be too competitive when all's said and done. Mayweather's going to dominate. It is his field of play. McGregor, if you give him a chance, it's that lucky punch chance or whatever. But I had been hoping and praying that the race card wasn't going to be thrown out into the mix. And, of course, yesterday it was officially released. To make matters worse, to listen to Floyd with a straight face saying that Conor McGregor was disrespecting women and being disrespectful to women, I just couldn't get over it. This is the same guy that beat his girlfriend in front of his kids. This is the same guy that has time and time again slapped around women. He's done time for it. I know he calls it prison, but whatever. And he has the audacity to be hypocritical with a straight face and call Conor McGregor's comments disrespectful to women. I don't know. I guess they're pulling out all the stops. There's no respect here for anyone. And forget the two fighters. I'm talking about everyone else involved. I guess this goes along with the circus. Joining me right now from St. Simons is my man, Sal Rocky Senecola. And Sal, I knew it was going to happen, man. I knew it was going to happen. And isn't it unfortunate that we can't? Obviously, these two sides are clearly having fun. And a lot of it, I think, is predetermined and everything else. But did they really have to go and start with the racial BS, and then, of course, dragging disrespecting women into it? I mean, I don't know. I mean, listen, you can attack each other and try to get people to buy tickets or whatever, but in a way, I think they crossed the line. What's your thoughts?
Well, they crossed the line a long time ago when the commission approved this fight and sanctioned it. I mean, bottom line is they disrespected boxing and everything that came before. I mean, this is the arena. This is the WWE and the arena of what it has evolved to, and it's going to continue. I mean, I went on to ESPN news page today, and all they have talking about is this fiasco, not even a fight. And I'm hearing comments left and right from different people. McGregor can't even sustain a level of any kind of conditioning 5 minutes past his own MMA into the second, third round, and he's going to fall out of gas. Then he's going to do this. I mean, it's so much rhetoric, and the Las Vegas odds keep changing and everything else. So it's neat to think that even Las Vegas odds are going to be established and predicated on the rhetoric that's coming out of these stupid press conferences and everything else. All they're doing is giving us the hype. That's it, the hype. It's the fluff without the stuff, and that's it.
Well, first of all, I agree with you about the Nevada State Athletic Commission, but and you're right. It's funny about the odds because every time somebody says something, Vegas jumps on it, changes the odds, and people are putting money on it already. But how about the quote from Floyd Mayweather? This one won't go 12. It's kill or be killed. It will be toe-to-toe. I mean it.
He means it this time.
Yeah, he means it this time. There's no way. Listen, Mayweather is too inside the ring. I don't think he's too smart outside the ring. But inside the ring, Mayweather's a smart fighter. The worst thing he could do, worst thing he could do is go toe to toe. So anybody that's buying into that, I don't know. Maybe that's why they're getting so vicious with each other. But we got one more presser to go, the one in London, and then it's over. Then these guys can focus on doing whatever they're going to do, and then we can go from there. But I don't know, man. They've said it all in these last three. I mean, one more in London, and that one should be pretty packed with, especially since McGregor's from the UK. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's going to be. You know what? There are great fans out there, and I'm sure it's going to be a showdown. I'm sure it's going to be a heck of a more rhetoric from the combatants, but it's going to be entertaining, to say the least. and you're going to probably see a lot of live audience engage and have a good time.
You bring up
the pre-party.
You bring up a great point. The live audiences for all of these has been huge, and I'm wondering if the people.
It's true.
Well, I'm wondering if the people. You can look at it a couple of ways. Is it a precursor to what we will expect or should expect from the pay-per-view numbers for the live event, etc.? Or are people getting their fill of the show before the show, and then that's it? Because let's face it,
it's true.
The most entertaining part of this matchup is what's taking place now. I mean, it really is. If you like that kind of thing, if you like that Howard Stern mentality, you're loving these press conferences. Whether you're an MMA fan or a boxing fan, first of all, if you're an MMA fan, you're not going to see any MMA in this fight. The only thing you're hoping for is that Conor McGregor wins the fight so that it puts MMA more solid on the map it's sitting on right now. But true boxing fans, every one of them I talk to say they're not going to buy it. So I don't know. All of a sudden, just like we were talking about yesterday with Triple G and Canelo, I don't know about this. Not the outcome, but how it's going to do. I mean, some people say it's going to kick ass with the numbers, and others say, well, who knows? We'll see.
I think, it's interesting. I'm reading on the internet. They want to start teaching this model in marketing in the business schools in college. I mean, that's the layer upon layer. Like I said, this is the fluff before the lack of stuff, and it's amazing. This is marketing. This is marketing 101, and this is how they're prevailing it and going to establish it, and this is how they're going to give everybody the insight of what all this is going to become and how it's going to be on that date. The greatest event ever to be filmed and to show, and that's what they're trying to do. But like I said, the true boxing fan, and as you have said, knows better. And I hope they're saving their money, because the next big fight that they should be investing in to have pure boxing entertainment and to see two world-class combatants go at it will be the Canelo Alvarez and Triple G showdown. That fight we've been waiting for, and that fight's going to happen. And I think that's the one that I can't wait to see. This is just, let's go through the dance and emotion, because we have to. And as I said all along, this is better for MMA than it is for boxing.
Well, no, I agree with that. But as far as a business model, they're not they're not
rocket scientists.
No.
I mean, they're not doing it. The media jumps on board with this crap.
It's
like
not that they're doing it.
Candidacy of the president.
Sal, they're not doing anything new. The WWE has been doing this for 50 years. Coming out with outrageous costumes and props all set up there, and like you're saying, adding fluff to the stuff. I mean, the showering McGregor with dollar bills yesterday, him coming out with the getup he had on. I mean, it's WWE, and to me, and that's what this event is. And going back to your original statement about how sad the Nevada State Athletic Commission is for approving this as a boxing match, it's an entertain. It's 100% entertainment, and as an exhibition, I'm for it. I laugh. It's comical, but the sad part is that it's going to count as a real fight. To me, that's the sad part. The boxing purist in me, that's where I'm hurting, because it's a shame. But as far as the show, it's entertainment. It's WWE. The only difference is WWE is geared towards children, really, nowadays. They're the ones that are the biggest supporters of it. And, this with the language and everything else, is kind of, if I'm a parent and I have a 10-year-old kid that, is following WWE or something, I don't want him to see this because of all the negativity, the disrespect in language, and also against each other and families and women, and I mean it's a plethora of disrespect, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, like we said, it's just the rhetoric. It's just what you would expect in an MMA arena, not so much boxing, but like that we established. This is good for MMA. It's not enhancement of anything within the sport of boxing.
No, hang on. We got some emails to read. We're going to take a short break. We will be back in 2.
Billy C will be right back.
Currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks, like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of Grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
If you or a loved one have had hernia repair surgery with mesh reinforcement and suffered infection, chronic pain, mesh migration, mesh failure, organ damage, or needed additional surgery, call the Rely On Group right now. You may be eligible to receive a cash award and compensation for your medical expenses. Your voice deserves to be heard. Call the Rely On Group to be connected with a personal injury attorney for a free consultation. Call 800-715-4869. That's 800-715-4869.
Billy C will be right. Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts! Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you.
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're listening and watching the Billy C Show. Glad you could be with us today. And don't forget, we want you with us on August 25th and 26th when we're down at the Sea Palms Resort. We're going to be doing a 2+ day event. Yeah, because it's going to be over 2 days. May even stretch into 3. I don't know. We're going to do what we want to do. That's the beauty of it. Visit our website, BillyCBoxing.com. Click on the Sea Palms. Get the information, call them, make your reservations now. I'm with Sal, Rocky Santa Cola. Sal, we got some emails. You ready?
I am ready, sir.
First email's from my man Joel. He says, hey, Billy C, can you give your official, Billy C and Sal, give his official predictions for who takes the final spot in the World Boxing Super Series when Chris Eubank Jr. faces Arthur Abraham? If you want to give your official prediction now, Sal, you can. I'm going to break it down a little bit later, and as a matter of fact, I got one more email to read, and then I'm going to break down all the fights. So I'm going to defer to Sal on that one, Joel, because I'm going to give you mine here in a few minutes. What do you say, Sal?
I think, Chris Eubank Jr. is going to prevail here, but, I love to listen to your breakdown because you do it with such good detail. I'm just kind of off the cuff, I assess and I see, and I just pick them from my whole general observations of the all-around combatant. So I'll listen to you on
All
this
right,
one.
well, I'll give my predictions here in a sec. One last email. This one's from Jesse. He says, hey, Billy C. and Sal, these are my picks for this weekend. He's got Omar split decision over Robert, Brown stopping Shawnee Monahan, Spitzka beating Konaki with a unanimous decision, Beachelt stopping Murara in 10, Castellanos winning a split decision over Corrales, Barrera taking Smith Jr. In a TKO, Eubank Jr. beating Arthur Abraham by unanimous decision, Selby split decision over Barrios, and he says, what's your thoughts on Thamaun Nayomatron and Kid Gallahan? Well, Nayomatron, I honestly don't know much about him, so I'm not going to say anything. And I don't know much about him. I can't even pronounce his name. So, but Kid Galahad, love the kid Galahad. No, I like him. He's a really good. I still look at him as a prospect, but I'm looking for big things with Kid Galahad. So I'm looking forward to him and his career. All right, so here we go. This weekend, yesterday we already talked about a little bit about the Baranchek and Keenan Smith, the same emailer that I just read, Jesse, had asked me if I thought that this fight was going to be worthwhile and if I thought this fight was going to be, competitive, etc. And for all intent purposes, I said Baranchek's going to win the fight. So I'm just going to get that one out of the way. I'm picking Baranchek. And also, the other fight he asked me about was the one on Estrella television tonight, Roger Gutierrez going up against Rene Alvarado. And if you guys recall, although Roger Gutierrez is so-called on the A side, I really think he's hitting tough because when I broke it down yesterday and gave everyone the stats on Gutierrez and his career so far, this guy really hasn't fought. If you remember, out of his whole record, he's only fought 4 guys with winning records, and one of them, if I recall correctly, was like 1-0, and the other one was like 30-28. So Rene Alvarado's a tough guy, although he's lost a couple of fights. I think 4 out of his last 7. He's been in there with world class fighters. Like I said yesterday, I'm picking Alvarado in an upset on that one. But let's go to the tape. So let's
go
video
tape.
This is not in any particular order because we got some fights. In addition to the fights that are on tonight, you got the Showtime event, and then Saturday we start off in the afternoon because it's live. Eubank Arthur Abraham and Selby Barrios. Then at 8:00 you got the Fox one coming out of Long Island. Figueroa Guerrero, Brown Monahan, Spitzka against Konaki. Then later that night on HBO, you got the Burchant, Murara, Corrales, Castellanos, Smith Barrera fight as their triple header. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in no particular order. The first fight I got here, Sal, is the Sullivan Barrera going up against Joe Smith Jr. I like this fight. It's in the light heavyweight division. Sullivan Barrera, 19 wins, 14 coming by knockout, and 1 loss. His only loss, no shame in the loss to Andre Ward in March of last year. He followed that with 2 knockout victories, V. Shabanansky in December of last year, and then he's fought once this year, Paul Parker, who was just a stay busy type fight, 8-1. I mean, he had a respectable record, but Sullivan Barrera ranked number 12 in the world by the computer in the light heavyweight division. The thing on him, he's 6'2", 73-inch reach. The thing on him, and he does have some good wins too. Before the Andre Ward fight, he had a knockout win over Caro Murat. He also beat. Faded if, no matter what. It's still Jeff Lacey. He knocked him out in 2015. Everybody else was a typical rise to, get my name out there type fight. But the thing about Barrera, he's from Cuba, but he's 35 years old. And the time for him is now. with 19 wins, 14 by knockout, with a 70% knockout ratio, he steps in there with another knockout puncher, and Joe Smith Jr. I mean, this guy busted onto the scene, although he put in the work leading up to the fight against Andres Fonfara. He certainly was fighting a whole list of marginal opposition in his home state of New York. Most of his fights in New York, and on the way up, I mean, he did beat some tough guys like Corey Cummings and Deion Savage and Will Rensky, Otis Griffin, but really never really fought anybody super tough until he stepped in with Andres Fonfara. If you think Andres Fonfara was super tough. Now, Fonfara was supposed to just walk through Joe Smith Jr., and instead, Joe Smith Jr. knocked him out in the first round. It not only made us stop and think Fonfara wasn't what he's cracked up to be, or you could go the other route and say that Joe Smith Jr. Ruined Fonfara, because he certainly hasn't been the same fighter since. But it busted Joe Smith onto the scene. Now, he was supposed to get a world title shot against Stevenson, because Fonfara was about to fight Stevenson when he stepped in to fight Joe Smith Jr., and instead Stevenson didn't want to fight Joe Smith Jr., and instead, who does Joe Smith Jr. step in there with? None other than future Hall of Famer Bernard Hopkins. And what does he do to Bernard Hopkins? He knocks him out too. That was his last fight of December of last year. He is ranked at number 4 in the world at light heavyweight. He's 27 years old, 6 foot tall, 23 wins with, like I said, 19 by knockout. His only loss came early in his career against a 6-3 Eddie Camignano. He's certainly put that fight behind him. Who do I think is going to win this fight, Sal? I think it's going to be a tough one. I really do. I like both fighters, but I think, and I just hope that Joe Smith Jr. Has, kind of worked on stuff. What happens when you become so successful with the knockout punch, especially knocking out a future Hall of Famer in Bernard Hopkins, and of course, his knockout win over Andres Fonfara. I hope that he's worked on some other things, not just going in there trying to take heads off. But I'm picking Joe Smith Jr. in this fight, and I think that should he get by Sullivan Barrera, he's going to be, solid. I mean, not that I don't think he's a solid fighter now, but I think I think he needs this win to really say, hey, those two fights were not flukes. Yes, Bernard Hopkins was 50 years old, but I'm a real fighter. He needs this win, and I think he's going to come out on top. What's your thoughts?
Well, from what we've seen, I think Joe Smith Jr., he's got that equalizer. He's got that power. And as you were saying, he should not just have to rely on it. Hopefully he's been working on some things. There was a couple of times where he did get, he was a little vulnerable to some good shots, but he could take a punch and he could surely dish it out. So, I like him. I like him for a lot of reasons, and I think he's a real tough guy. And he's been the underdog a couple times, but I think he's going to wind up being having his hand raised at the end and being the victor.
Joe Smith.
I do. Yeah, Joe Smith.
Yeah. Well, so we agree on that one.
We agree. I'm putting a star next to Joe Smith Jr.
Yeah. No, I'm picking Joe Smith Jr. Although I don't think it's going to be a layup.
That would be a walk. It's
not
going to be a walk in the park. Barrera's still a tough fighter.
That's what I like about these fights this weekend, Sal. A lot of them are 50-50. When I was going through everything, I'm sitting there going, wow, I don't know who I really want to pick in this fight. Sullivan Barrera, I mean, he's no slouch either when you look at him, because his only loss came at the hands of Andre Ward. So I mean, you can't.
That's a hell of a fighter to lose to.
I know, and I mean, not that I think Andre Ward is super great like most people think, but it's not going to be an easy fight for him. That's all I'm saying. So, but I am picking Smith in this one. Hey, listen, let's take a short break. When I come back, I'm going to break down the other fights. Then we got Dax Khan coming up. He's going to give us some inside scoop on the press conference yesterday at the Barclays Center with Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor. Some stuff that was discussed off air. that Dax was able to get. So don't go anywhere for that. We'll be back in 2.
Billy C will be right back.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks. Like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of Grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts. Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you.
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're watching and listening to the Billy C. Show. Glad you could be with us. And don't forget, we want you with us on St. Simon's Island, August 25th and 26th. We're doing a Billy C. boxing event. We will be getting some pretty well-known people there to join us. How about former world champions Bobby Ches and Mike Weaver? As well as Sherman Henson, who's a trainer out of Tampa. The Jeremy C., the infamous Jeremy C. We're going to be bringing some other people down, and we're going to be doing a lot of things, like having a meet and greet with some food, and how about doing a little golf tournament? How about showing the circus called Mayweather McGregor? How about letting you be part of the next filming of Billy C.'s Boxing Revisited? We'll be doing that. We'll all be trucking over to Sal's Pizzeria and Restaurant. We'll be doing a lot of good stuff, so make sure you get make your reservations today. Visit our website, BillyCBoxing.com, and go to the CPOMs and give them a call and make your reservations now. And by the way, a special shout out to everyone watching on Facebook right now. We are doing our experimental Facebook Live, which seems to be working out pretty well. The only thing is you guys aren't seeing the full video version of the show. If you want to see the full video version, same version that goes up on the television networks, then go watch us on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/talkinboxing. TalkinBoxing. I'm here with Sal Rocky Senecola. And, Sal, we got another fight to do, and this one's another tough one, man. It really is. We got Robert the Ghost Guerrero, and these are the fights, boys and girls, that are scheduled for this weekend that I'm not doing in any particular order. So, but this is another hard one to pick, and I'll tell you why. Robert the Ghost Guerrero, an established fighter, former world featherweight and junior lightweight world champion, and also a lightweight world champion, and welterweight title challenger. And actually, he was considered a world welterweight champion if you count interim belts. This guy's well accomplished, Robert Goes Guerrero. He's ranked currently at number 22 at welterweight. Now, there's another interesting thing. I'm not even 100% sure what this fight is going to be fought at, but I'm pretty sure it's at junior middleweight when he fights Omar Figueroa Jr. But let's start off with Robert Goes Guerrero, former multi-division world champion. He's 34 years old right now. He is a southpaw, 5'9", 71-inch reach. He's fought everybody. He's come up short in 3 of his last 4 fights. Actually, 4 of his last 6 fights. He did lose his last 2, one against Danny Garcia when he took a shot at Danny's world welterweight title. He also lost to David Emmanuel Peralta via a split decision. Many people felt that he won that fight back in August of last year. He did beat Aaron Martinez, but before that he lost a 12-round decision to Keith Thurman. Of course, he fought Floyd Mayweather in 2013. I was one of the people that felt that he earned his shot against Mayweather because he had beaten some pretty big names. I mean, going back with at least, I know he beat Casitas as a lightweight, but he beat, for the interim welterweight title, Selkirk Iden, who was undefeated at the time. He followed that with a win over Andre Berto. And I thought that he did earn a shot with Floyd, but as usual, Floyd won a unanimous decision. He also had a pretty exciting fight against Yoshiro Kamagagi, won a 12-round decision against him, which set him up for another shot against Keith Thurman. The bottom line is Robert Goes Guerrero is a warrior inside the ring. We all know the story. His beautiful wife beat, cancer, and Robert's been on this show many times. And, he's a feel-good story. My only question now is the guy has made tons of money, and I know he's pretty smart with his money. I don't understand why he's still fighting. I really don't. If he wants one more shot at another belt, maybe that's the case. I don't know. But at 34 years old, with money in the bank, with a healthy family, I honestly don't know why he just focuses on that. But he steps in the ring with a young fighter. But here's the thing. Omar Figueroa, 27 years old, definitely given up height. He's 5'7.5", and he's also he's given up height, but he's got a reach advantage of 2 inches. He's got a 73-inch reach. The thing is Figueroa, although he's undefeated, 26-0 at 18 knockouts, he does have 1 draw. He hasn't fought in over a year and a half, which is kind of strange because he's 27 years old. And, when you're that age, you're in your prime of boxing. I mean, to take a year off for whatever reason, whether it be, management or when you don't have a choice, when it's an injury based, that takes a toll on you. And, the proverbial ring rust is going to be there. I don't care how many rounds of sparring he's got, in the gym. He's going to be a little rusty. And to step in there with a guy like Robert Goes Guerrero is going to be tough. His last 3 fights were against actually his last 4 fights were really, you could go all the way back to 2013 when he exposed Abner Cotto, exploding and knocking him out in 1 round. He also beat the Corpus Christi kid, Jerry Belmontes, who I think is way better than his record suggests. He's got a win over Daniel Estrada, and his last 2 fights were in 2015. Both went the distance. Ricky Burns and Antonio DeMarco. So, I mean, this guy has fought some really tough opposition, but he's in there with Robert Goes Guerrero, and I think it's all going to boil down to, how rusty is he? And, is he biting off more than he can chew? I really believe that this is a 50-50 fight, and it's a hard one to pick. But, because I got to pick somebody, as much as I like the Ghost, I'm going with the kid only because youth generally prevails. I'm picking Omar Figueroa in what I think is a true 50-50 fight. What do you think, Sal?
I think he's a tough young buck, and I just want to know why he took off a year and a half. Like he was on the fast track train, he had the momentum, and a year and a half off in the middle of his peak years. I'd question that. However, let's say he's been in the gym. Let's say he's going to still keep the momentum, and he's going to come back. I know what layoffs are like, and he should still sustain his skills and everything else. I think, and Robert the Ghost Guerrero, as you said, he's had a warrior mindset and mentality and heart, and he's been in the ring. And at 34, you're questioning why is he still doing it when everything else is secure in his life, supposedly. So, I think, you got to put some of the value on being hungry for Omar Figueroa, and I think that he may prevail as well. I might be on the same page as you. I like Robert the Ghost Guerrero. I like him for a lot of reasons, but I think this might be this time for Omar to keep himself on the forefront and be back up there.
So your official pick is Omar?
Omar, by a unanimous decision.
Next fight I'm going to break down is another tough one, in my opinion. Lee Selby against Jonathan Victor Barrios. Jonathan Victor Barrios, former world featherweight champion, and he's a former world junior lightweight title challenger. He's 33 years old. He's ranked number 12 in the world at featherweight. His record is 41 wins, 22 coming by knockout, and 4 losses in which he was only stopped one time. This guy is a tough out, and he's coming off of a couple of big-time wins against fighters that you may not have heard of, but they are all good fighters like Hinoso and Martin Barbosa in 2015. Hinoso last year in October. He also beat Sergio Eduardo Gonzalez via a stoppage, who's a journeyman fighter. Sergio Javier Escobar, another journeyman fighter. But his only stoppage loss came back in 2012 when he fought Mikey Garcia. He was stopped in 8. But Juan Carlos Salgado, Gustavo David Benavidez, Celestino Caballero, he lost to, but he had avenged that when he won the Celestino Caballero avenged that because Jonathan Victor Barrios beat Celestino Caballero for his title back in 2011. Miguel Roman he beat. I mean, he's been around at 33, and he's a tough out. Now, he steps in with a young fighter, a young 30-year-old, I should say, who's ranked substantially higher than Jonathan Barrios, like half as high. He's ranked at number 6. And although Jonathan Victor Barrios is 33 years old, he's got a lot more mileage on him than Lee Selby, who's 30 years old. Lee Selby, when I first think of Lee Selby, I say, well, he hasn't really fought anybody. But when you really look at his resume, I'm totally wrong. He's fought a lot of good quality fighters going all the way back to 2013, Martin Lindsay 20-1. Corey McConnell 11-0. Virel Simon 16-0. Ryan Walsh, we know that name, 16-0. Rendell Monroe, which was a pretty good fighter, 27-3. Joel Brunkton was undefeated when Lee Selby knocked him out in 2014. For the title, he beat Envy Gradovich, who was undefeated. Beat him in a technical 8-round decision. Fernando Montiel, experienced fighter, former world champion, beat him in his last 2 fights. Eric Hunter was a big win, and his last fight against Andoni Gago was a stay busy kind of fight. I mean, let's be real. He fought him in March, and Gago is 16-2. But Lee Selby is more of a boxer. He comes, he fights. He's only got 9 knockouts of his 24 wins. I think he's in real tough with Victor Barrios, but I think despite only being 3 years older, I think the mileage, even though he's only got 4 losses, he has been in. Those 4 losses took its toll on Jonathan Victor Barrios. I think that this is a 50-50 fight. I really do. But I'm going to pick Lee Selby. And not so much because he's 3 years younger, but more so because I feel that he's got less wear and tear on his body than Jonathan Victor Barros, who I think we're going to see show the signs of those previous wars that he's been in. Plus, his style of fighting is a balls to the wall type style, and I think Selby is going to be able to keep him in check and win a decision. What do you think, Sal?
Well, you broke it down perfectly, and Bill, I'm going to say I think Selby's going to outbox him, and I think, as you said, probably those ring wars, they may be adding up and taking their toll on Barrow. So I do like Lee Selby.
Yeah, Lee Selby. Hey, listen, it's not an easy fight, but
no, it's not. I mean, a lot of these fights, they're very evenly matched. They're going to be competitive, and I think, as you said and suggested, a lot of them are 50-50.
Well, here's another one that I think is 50-50. Marcus Brown going up against Shawnee Monahan. My man Coach is in the chat room now, and I know he's a big Shawnee Monahan fan. And I know Shawnee Monahan has a lot of fans. He started in boxing ladies from Long Island, close to where I'm from. He's a light heavyweight, ranked at number 24 by the computer, 5'11", 72.5-inch reach. He's undefeated, Sal, 28-0 with 17 knockouts. He does have some decent names on his resume. Donovan George, he beat. He also beat Fluencio Zuniga, who's a tough guy. Elvier Murky, who is an up-and-coming fighter. Joe McCready, tough guy. Matt Vanda, tough guy. Anthony Caputo Smith, who was only once beaten, and Shawnee Monahan was brought in as the opponent and stopped him in 3 rounds in Vegas. So he has bucked the odds throughout his career. And even in his last 2 fights against Jane Forsman in February of last year and then December of last year against Fernando Castaneda, 2 guys that are tough guys, but not the greatest. Shawnee Monahan always comes to fight, and he always seems to surprise me because I've thought that this guy was going to lose many times before. But at 35 and not fighting for 7 months, it's like, when you have an older car, the most important thing to do is keep it running. And even though in boxing today, fighting every several months is being busy, I think when you're 35, you need to be busier than that. And he steps in with a guy that you could talk about as completely the opposite of Shawnee Monahan. Marcus Brown, he's ranked higher at number 10 in the world. He is a southpaw, a little taller, 6'1.5", 75.5-inch reach. He, too, is undefeated, 19-0 with 14 of his knockouts. You could say that Marcus Brown has been coddled, whereas Shawnee Monahan was coddled for a little bit and then was thrown to the lions expecting to lose and then kind of came out on top. The complete opposite, it can be said about Marcus Brown. He's been carefully moved. He's been put in there with some tough guys, but guys that didn't have much of a chance because of their age and the fact that they've been in fights, tough fights, like Otis Griffin and Aaron Pryor Jr. A big name on his record that we found out was kind of a built-up guy was Cornelius White. He did beat Gabriel Campillo, which he blew him out in 1 round. Sometimes when you see that, especially with an established fighter like Campillo, you wonder if he was just cold, if he didn't break into a sweat prior to loosening up prior to the fight, whatever. Marcus Brown came on top. He did beat Francisco Ciara, which I thought was a big win. And his last 2 fights, Radik Kajaljevic, he won a split decision in April of last year. And then his last win was supposed to be a really tough fight against Thomas Williams Jr. It did turn out to be a tough fight for both these guys. But at the end of the night, Marcus Brown knocks out Thomas Williams Jr. In maybe his signature fight because he looked real good in this one. Who's going to win this fight? Like I said, I really think it's a 50-50. Shawnee Monahan constantly, makes me look bad because I always go against him. And unfortunately, I'm going against him again. I'm picking Marcus Brown. I just think that Marcus Brown, despite not having the toughest resume, I think he's more of a complete fighter. This guy's, got some hand speed. He can box. Plus, he's got some power. I think there's more pressure on Shawnee Monahan, and I think at the end of the day, Marcus Brown has the higher skill set. I'm picking Marcus Brown. Who do you like?
I'm going to go in the opposite corner with you this time. I'm picking Shawnee Monahan. And I'm going to do it for a multitude of reasons. But I think this is his, he, as you said, suggested he's getting up there in age, and he's got to make a statement right now. And he's been resting or training for 7 months. So I think, he's going to go in there, and I think he's going to mean business. And I think he's going to beat Marcus Brown.
Oh, good. I'm glad you are going in a different direction because I would love to pick Shawnee Monahan. I'm just not doing it today. The next fight that I'm going to look at is another tough one, another 50-50, and people are going to laugh when I tell you which fight I'm talking about. Robinson Castellanos against Jezreel Corrales. Jezreel Corrales is the younger fighter, 26 years old. He's a southpaw, 5'6", with a 67-inch reach. He's ranked at number 3 in the world at super featherweight, or junior lightweight, however you want to look at it. And Robinson Castellanos, he's ranked at number 10. He's 35 years old, 5'6" as well. Way more fights. His record is 24 wins, 14 by knockout, 12 losses in which he was stopped 7 times. But this guy's been in with the who's who of fighters, including his last win against Yuriorkis Gamboa, when Gamboa quit in his corner. Remember that fight?
I remember that. I remember that. I mean, the guy's a tough guy. Castellanos is a tough guy. And to make Gamboa quit. I mean, we saw that fight, and Gamboa will never be back on the scene again just because of that.
And Gamboa was, one of my favorite fighters.
I know, we were talking about him just before the fight. Great, his spirit. But I'll tell you,
the fight before that was against Oscar Escandon, where he lost. But before that, he beat who I think it was always a tough fighter in Rocky Juarez. Won a 12-round decision. Beat Ronnie Rios, who was an up-and-coming fighter. Stopped him. And then lost to Rene Alvarado, a guy that I said is going to upset the apple cart tonight. He's got some wins over good fighters like Celestino Caballero and Edgar Ramirez. But he's also been in there tough and lost. You never know which Robinson Castellanos is going to show up. The key here is he's 35 years old. Now, Jezreel Corrales, although he's ranked much higher at number 3, I thought Jezreel Corrales was going to be exposed, because his resume is so much weaker. I mean, this guy was literally coddled all the way up until they gave him a shot at the interim world championship against Juan Antonio Rodriguez back in 2015. And he won a decision when Juan Antonio Rodriguez couldn't continue after the 11th round. Now, he had 2 pretty good fights against Takashi Yukamaya, in which he won the regular WBA world title. He knocked out Yukamaya in 2 rounds in April of last year, and then December in the rematch, another tough fight, went the distance, but he came out on top again. And that's when I started thinking, well, Jezreel Corrales could very well be the real deal. Now, with a 35% knockout ratio versus a 39% knockout ratio for Robinson Castellanos, I think it boils down to which Castellanos is going to show up. Then again, I look at, by him beating Gamboa, does that carry him through? Once again, I think youth is going to prevail here, and 9-year age difference. As much as I wanted to pick Castellanos, because everyone likes to go with underdog, I'm picking Jezreel Corrales. What's your thoughts on this fight?
I'm going to stay with the underdog. I think at 35, again, he's got to say that his days are winding down, and he's got to keep on top, and he's going to take this fight serious, and he he's coming off that upset against Gamboa, and I think he's going to show up into the ring ready to fight and going to be hard to dissuade. So I like Robinson Castellanos.
The next fight I'm going to pick is Miguel Berchelt against Takashi Miura. And Takashi Miura ranked at number 4 in the world at junior lightweight. He's 33 years old. He's 31-3 with a couple of draws, 24 by knockout. He is a power puncher. He's won his last 2. Jimmy Bourbon, 5-1-2. That was a let's get you a W after he got knocked out by Francisco Vargas. When Francisco Vargas won his title from him. He's also got wins over one of the most boring fighters in the world, Billy Dibb, Dante Jardin. Sergio Thompson was a big win. Gamel Diaz was a big win. Edgar Puta, big win. His last fight, Miguel Roman, the experienced Miguel Roman, stopped him in the final round. Miura is a tough out at 33 years old, and you can't take any of these Japanese fighters lightly. There's no quit in these guys, despite him having 3 losses, 2 in which by knockout. Miguel Berchelt is an up-and-coming guy, in my opinion. He's ranked at number 2 in the world at super featherweight. He's 25 years old, 5'7", 71-inch reach, so it's pretty even there. He's only been beaten 1 time, and that was against Luis Eduardo Flores, who was 15-1. He was stopped in the first round. Again, might have come out cold. He did beat the aforementioned Francisco Vargas to win his title in his last fight, knocked out Vargas in the 11th round, beat up Vargas, if you recall. But that's really the biggest name on his resume, aside from some journeyman type fighters in Rene Gonzalez and Antonio Escalante. I don't know what to think of Berchelt. I really hadn't had my full opinion on him. But again, I can't help but notice the disparity in age. And because of that, and because, Berchelt is on the rise, and, a lot of times when these guys win a title like he won in his last fight in January of this year, Sal, it elevates them. And I think that Miura, he's been in some wars. This guy, he's a kill or be killed type fighter. He is coming over here to fight. Again, I hate to be repetitive, but I'm picking youth over age, even though I think that this might be one of the most action-packed fights of the weekend. I'm picking Berchelt in this one.
Yeah, you know what? For a multitude of reasons that you are stating, I'm going to go with Berchelt too. I think he's going to prevail. So youth against the veteran who's got the experience, but I think Berchelt will come out the victor.
All right, so my last 2 fights that we're going to pick here are actually my 2 favorite fights. And we just found out in the chat room, if you're watching live on the stream or whatever, and you want to communicate with us and have us, mention things that you're saying, you got to come over to the chat room, on BillyCBoxing.com. There is a troll in there, Bob T. Smoker. This guy, he used to smoke 2 cartons of cigarettes a week, but when they removed his left lung, he's pretty much cut his smoking in half. So he's in there bugging everybody.
Yeah, that's wrong.
But the thing is my man Neuros gave us an update on the official weigh-in that's going on right now on this fight that I'm talking about. And my man Arthur Abraham came in overweight. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can lose the weight or what. Because if you recall, Chris Eubank, Arthur Abraham is a world title fight. Chris Eubank holds the IBO, International Boxing Organization's super middleweight title, although they're not considered one of the top 4. I like the IBO, and traditionally they've had some pretty top-notch world champions like Vladimir Klitschko. So, I'm giving this fight credit for being a world title fight. Now, Arthur Abraham, listen, this guy's been around a long time, pushing 40 years old, said he was going to retire a long time ago, has not. He's 37 years old. He's ranked at number 4 in the world by a super middleweight. He's a former world middleweight champion and super middleweight champion. He's 5'9". His record, 46 wins, 30 by knockout. He's got 5 losses in which he was only stopped 1 time. and that was because his eye was so bad he couldn't continue. He's been in there with everyone. I mean, you know what? You can't really knock this guy for the level of opposition. The only problem I have with Arthur Abraham is his style. He goes into that turtle shell, and generally he gives up those first 4 rounds all the time, gives them up. And then he comes on strong and usually destroys his opponent. A lot of you may remember when Arthur Abraham fought and won a fight with a broken jaw. His jaw was hanging there for the whole fight. It was grotesque. But Arthur Abraham, nobody can deny that he's got heart and determination. I've always liked Arthur Abraham. Maybe because I'm such a fan of his, it's going to sway my opinion here. Now, he steps in with Chris Eubank Jr. Again, we're telling you guys that it was just made official that he came in overweight. So who knows if the title is going to still be on the line. If he does have to make that weight, maybe he drains himself a little too much. I don't know. But he's fighting Chris Eubank Jr., who's 24-1 with 19 knockouts. His only loss, a split decision against a guy who I think is not very good at all, Billy Joe Saunders. When he had his first shot at a world title, he did win the interim WBA middleweight world title when he beat Dmitry Chodovov. He defended it a couple of times and then was stripped of the title when he wouldn't fight Triple G, actually. And he was a British middleweight world champion. He switched to super middleweight only in his last fight when he fought Reynold Quinlan for the vacant IBO super middleweight title. Or actually, I think Quinlan actually might have had it. So he's only been at the super middleweight division for one fight. That's not to say he can't carry his weight. But, he's got wins over Gary O'Sullivan and Tony Jeter. And like I said, Chudovov, he did lose to Billy Joe Saunders. I think he's been coddled. He's in tough. No matter how you slice it, Arthur Abraham's going to win this fight. I'm picking Arthur Abraham to beat Chris Eubank Jr. I just don't think Chris Eubank Jr. has enough to beat him. But whether the title's on the line or not, I don't know. So because of the overweight issue, I'm picking Arthur Abraham, and I'm going against my trend of age versus youth. I just think Arthur Abraham is too talented, even at 37 years old, for Chris Eubank Jr. What's your thoughts?
Did you say Abraham came in overweight?
Yeah, 1.5 pounds.
Yeah. Well, he's got to lose that. I mean, it shouldn't be. But Bill, I'm going to go with Chris Eubank Jr. I'm gonna take Chris Eubank Jr. and we'll see. Arthur Abraham, he's been a warrior. He's a good fighter, solid fighter. But I think Chris Eubank Jr. is going to rise to the occasion, and he knows he's in tough with Arthur Abraham, and we'll see what he could do.
I could see that you put in a lot of study into this fight, Sal.
Well, I'm studying, man.
I know you are.
I got a stars next to everyone I'm picking. Yeah. I'm gonna call Vegas right now.
and the
like
last
the old football Sundays, you pick 10 teams, win 10 teams. There you win the lottery.
The last fight we're going to pick before we take a break. And yes, I know the networks are probably pissed at me because I'm over my break time, and Dax is probably pissed because he likes.
That's why I'm keeping my answers short and sweet. You never heard that from me.
Dax is probably chomping at the bit to get his mug on TV. But the truth of the matter is this next fight. I know it's not as glamorous as the rest of the fights, but to me, because it's a heavyweight fight, and there's a lot of significance on this fight, Artur Spitska is taking on Adam Konacki. Now, Spitska has not fought since he got his world title shot against Deontay Wilder in January of last year, which is kind of a big layoff for a 28-year-old, like I was saying. Spitska's 28 years old. He's a southpaw, 6'3". He did get knocked out by Deontay Wilder in a pretty much savage knockout. Up to that point, he did have some decent wins. One significant win was Tomas Adamek. He did lose to Bryant Jennings, who we haven't seen much against since. He had 2 epic fights with Mike Molo in Chicago. He also beat Brian Minto. So Jamal McCline. I mean, he's beaten. He's also got a win over Owen. What the heck are you still fighting for, Beck? But he was moved up. I still think, even though he's 6'3" and he's a monster compared to me, I still think he's a little small for a heavyweight, at least by today's standards. He is working with Ronnie Shields right now. I like Artur Spitzka. Now, he steps in with Adam Konacki, who's ranked at number 32 in the world at heavyweight. He's the same age and virtually the same size as Artur Spitzka. The big difference with their size is their girth. Adam Konacki is carrying a couple of extra 30 pounds, I think. He's undefeated, 15-0 with 12 knockouts. The thing is he really his biggest win is Jesse Barbosa, who was a built-up fighter out of New England. Moranzio Smith was just a journeyman-type fighter. He's really got, no big names. I mean, I guess you could call Joshua Tuft his biggest win based on his record at 19-1 in his last fight, which was January. Listen, he's a tough guy. He's a tough out, undefeated fighter going in against Spitzka, who hasn't fought in a while. I just think that Spitzka is going to win this fight. I just think that he's more talented, and I think that Ronnie Shields might be the difference maker in this fight in his corner. I don't know anything about Konacki's corner or team, but I'm picking Spitzka in this fight. It will be televised. Like I said, it's going to be a tough one, but I'm picking Spitzka. Who do you like?
I like Spitzka too. I'm going to go with Spitzka.
Spitzka. Sounds like it sounds, I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong. I don't know.
I'm sure you are.
Well, we got a big fight coming up, and it's going to be taking place at our Billy C. boxing event in St. Simons. I've just been called out, and we're going to start our press tour. It's going to be myself. I'm going to come out of retirement, even though I never fought professionally. I did fight as an amateur, but never as a professional. I'm going to come out of retirement at 56 years old, and I'm fighting the one-lunged, carton-a-week Bob T. Smoker at our event. He's calling me out. He's getting very... He's saying things against Italians. He's saying derogatory comments about women.
Include me in that pool.
Let me tell you something. Now he's calling out my man Jeremy. See, Bob T. Smoker is saying he's going to fight us both in the same night. This guy is sadly mistaken. There's going to be a fight. The fight that you're not going to want to watch McGregor Mayweather. You're going to watch Billy C., Bob T. Smoker, and then Bob T. Smoker, after I kick his ass, Jeremy C. is going to kick his ass too. So Bob T. Smoker, I hope he's either smoking something different than cigarettes now or whatever, but he's calling us out. Billy C. versus Bob T. Smoker. It's going to happen on August 25th at St. Simon's Island in Georgia. Hey, listen, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, Sal and I are going to be joined by Dax Khan, who's going to give us some inside information about the press conference that took place yesterday at the Barclays Center for the McGregor-Mayweather fight. Don't go nowhere, as we'll be back in 2.
Billy C. will be right back. Part of the Billy C. Boxing Network.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks. Like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of Grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts! Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you.
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're watching and listening to the Billy C. Show. Glad you could be with us. And in case you're just tuning in, we've added another fun thing we're doing for our McGregor Mayweather weekend, our Billy C. get-together. Bob T. Smoker, a guy that has been following this show around for 14 years now, has just called me out, and he even wants to take on our main producer, Jeremy C. So we're gonna have we're just gonna call it an exhibition. We're not gonna be frauds like Mayweather and McGregor and calling this a real fight. It's gonna be an exhibition, but I promise I will prevail over Bob T. Smoker. Joining me right now, and joining Sal, he was at the press conference yesterday for McGregor and Mayweather at the Barclays Center to fill us in on some behind-the-scenes stuff. We've all heard all of the rhetoric that we hear in the press, but there was some other stuff said. Joining me now is Dax Khan. What's up, Dax?
I'm making my predictions here. I say Bob Smoker and Billy C. ends up in the first ever double knockout. Bob passes out on the way to the ring, and Bill folds under the sun 15 minutes into the fight.
No way.
As the extended introductions are being given by Sal Senicolo.
Yeah, that's right. Somebody has to get a hook for Sal. Dax knows, and Sal goes on and on. Okay, get the hook for Sal. But let me tell you, wait a minute.
Who's coming to the ring, Sal? Who's coming to the ring? Jack Dempsey?
Yeah, no. Listen, here's the thing. Here's what's going to happen, and this is for real. We didn't sign the contracts yet. Bob T. Smoker doesn't understand. Everything is going to be chosen by me. I'm going to have air conditioning in my corner, so the sun and the weather is not going to affect me. I get to have water. He doesn't. I'm going to have the smaller gloves. He's going to have the pillow gloves. So, I mean, come on. That's the only way we're doing the fight. Mayweather sent me a little cheat list of how to negotiate and do the right stuff. So, no. Bob T. is not getting any advantages in this one.
Well, I know Bob the Smoker, and I really don't think it's going to be much an advantage. I had the pleasure of hanging out with him one night. He's a little bit wily, but I tell you what, the guy's got a lot of heart. He's a little hard to take when he starts chewing the filters. When he starts spitting it out, it's like, Bob, either chew tobacco. No, he's got a plug here, he's got a cigarette here, he's chewing the filters. He's an intense guy, Bill. And I'm telling you what, that's going to be a dangerous first 30 seconds for you.
Yeah, I know, because after that, and I'm telling you right now, we're not allowing any oxygen. He can't bring any oxygen tanks into the ring. But anyway, Dax, you were down in Brooklyn yesterday for the third of four scheduled circus press conferences that seem to be garnering all the attention of the sports world. And like Sal and I were talking about earlier, these press conferences are the show, in my opinion. They are entertaining. There's no question about it. If you like that WWE / Howard Stern type of entertainment, and of course the fight itself will never live up to these press conferences. But you have more than what we see, and what the both sides want us to see in terms of what's going on. You were basically behind the scenes with the press group. What can you share with us that the fans might want to know?
The LA started out, kind of brash. They turned up this gimmick over in Toronto. But then, in New York yesterday, they really brought it to a whole new level. But, what was said inside, the press room, starting out with Steven Espinoza, stating that, he tried to justify the event. He's talking about that Gervonta Davis is going to be on the undercard, yet no mention of an opponent for him other than he'll be matched up well. It should be an exciting opener. He's stuttering. No clue on who's going to open this. The fight is only a little bit over a month away. He's comparing this to Mayweather and Maidana, but then again, he's talking about how Conor McGregor is no Marcos Maidana, but, unlike a lot of the Mayweather opponents who once they get to that 8th round and they're down so far, they're happy just to cruise through the fight. But, also, he didn't have very high expectations other than the fact that, McGregor isn't going to give up and roll over. He's going to keep trying to the end. But, the one thing that he said that was very telling in that is it doesn't matter what happens because Conor McGregor is going to be a superstar after this and go back to the UFC, and it's not going to affect his career.
It won't, though. That's kind of truth. I mean, even if Conor, we all know Conor's not going to win this fight. It's not going to affect his MMA career at all. But he probably won't even continue at 28 years old. $100 million, even after he pays all of the fees and everybody gets it, even if he walks away with 20 clear, he's set for life, Dax.
Absolutely, but the reason why I mentioned how Espinoza came about and where he wasn't clear about the opener or Gervonta Davis opponent other than the fact he's going to be matched up well, that tells me they're not really concentrating on that. Never have we ever heard of a major fight card, let alone something that's going to sell of this magnitude where everything is in place a month beforehand. They're not promoting anything else but that. Dana White in the press room is comparing McGregor's power to Felix Trinidad, saying, when he hits you, you're on crazy legs. But you said something that Dana White said yesterday. I'm not sure if he's even going to continue fighting after this. According to Dana White in Las Vegas right now, the odds for the pay-per-view buys are 4.9 million buys at least. And he's stating that he has a line of fighters in the UFC that are driving him nuts. They're texting him, they're calling him every day, and they're trying to think of new fighters to call out. So this is not going to be a one and done. This is going to continue as long as this money is as long as this lives up to the expectations financially. They came right out and pretty much just said, this is the new trend. We are going to do this no matter what happens, as long as we sell. Now, for the people out there that hate to admit it, and the ones that really, they despise that word, casuals, Leonard Ellerby, Floyd Mayweather's #1 man, he says himself, this is being sold to the casual fans. Whether or not you don't like it, whether or not somebody else doesn't like it, he stated that to Dan Rayfield, who seemed very irritated that Rayfield hasn't been pro McGregor and Mayweather. Dan has pretty much stated and said, it is what it is. And Ellerby comes off with this thing on how this is bigger than you. We don't care who buys it, who doesn't. This is geared towards the casual fans. That's a slap in the face to all the boxing fans. That's telling you this is not a serious event. This is geared towards the casual fans, the ones we know that are going to buy this. So we don't need the boxing fan. We need the casual fan, the one and done, because that's where the money is.
It's true.
That's insulting.
Yeah, but
across the board.
Yeah, you're right, Sal, and it's true because, and this is. This is one of my hang-ups with Floyd, is that he has made it pretty obvious throughout his career that he doesn't care about the fans that have made him so rich. It's all about the money for him. And they actually support that. A lot of his fans and followers support that. And, if the fan is dumb enough to add to the bucket of cash just for the reason of adding to the bucket of cash, then, hey, whatever. This is water cooler talk. Listen, they've already succeeded in getting all of our attention. For us who we despise the whole premise of this fight, we've talked about it now for 3 days straight. And we'll continue to talk about it because it's in the news. And the saddest part is everything else is being kicked to the curb. We just rattled off all these great 50-50 fights that we got scheduled between tonight and tomorrow night, and there's nothing in the news about them. Maybe the weights. That's it, the weights. And it's sad.
There wasn't
you just said it right. Go ahead.
There wasn't a population of diehard boxing fans there. There wasn't even a lot of people from out of town, like in LA and in Toronto, that came from long distances. They was pretty much predominantly a lot of people, mostly from Brooklyn, a few from Long Island, from the Bronx, but it wasn't this wide collection where you would think. What another thing, in case people have been wondering, I know you've asked and other people asked that, if Conor McGregor should happen to, at some point in time during this fight, get frustrated, and he should happen to use a kick or throw Mayweather to the ground or something, his purse is going to be affected. And it was already hinted that there was some type of discussions that if he also does this, there'll be some sort of lawsuit. Dana White stated clearly that if Conor cannot keep his cool during his bout and something happens like that, he's going to end up in court. Mayweather will win the lawsuit, and McGregor could potentially lose everything that he has if he doesn't sit there and keep his cool. Somebody had referred to the Eddie Alvarez fight when in one of the press conferences, Conor McGregor almost threw a chair at Eddie Alvarez because Eddie had gotten up. It looked like he was throwing a chair at Conor. So there was a bit of confusion that happens in press conferences a lot. So they were wondering, is this something like that going to happen? Conor really, and that again, it really was a moment where it appeared that way, but it didn't. Everything settled down. It didn't get out of control. And Dana did say that, if Conor loses his control and Mayweather does something to provoke him, this not only would it cost him his entire career, it would cost him his purse, and his career even in the UFC would be over as he knows it. Conor McGregor would never fight again, and he would never have any money. Now, also, we've seen Floyd Mayweather on stage, even though a lot of it was acted out. The fact that when Floyd called one of his bodyguards over and kind of got in Conor's face, and, as soon as Conor started to move, all of a sudden everybody just jumped up in front of him, and then Floyd Mayweather walks away and sticks his tongue out at the camera. It's almost like, Floyd may not even really want to fight. He may hope that McGregor does something like that. He collects everything, he goes into a lawsuit, and he wins it all and doesn't have to step into the ring. Who knows? But this has really become an embarrassment. It really is. It's an embarrassment. Conor McGregor walking up there dressed like a pimp from a really bad C-level 1970s movie. Talking about how he's doing, giving a gift for all his black female fans, and he's doing a grind. Mayweather coming out dressed in, the Irish flag, and talking about how, he doesn't have to wear nice clothes, but meanwhile he's dressed like a really, looks something like a really bad early 1980s breakdancing movie with a chain and his sweatshirt. And the fans, the ones that were there were eating it up, but they weren't anybody of significance. They were the ones that are going to buy one pay-per-view, and that's it. And, I threw up in my mouth a little bit. I really did. It was sad to see something like this happen. And it's not going to be the end. This is going to continue. There is no more integrity. Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, what started out as maybe a fun event, what started out as, whether or not it should go on the record officially, whether or not you want to call it an exhibition, whether or not you just want to call it what it is, a circus, fine, as long as it's a one and done. But in no way, shape, or form did anybody with authority to make these matches and make things happen, show that, this is going to be a one and done. This is going to continue happening, and all they care about is making that money. Even Leonard Ellerbe said straight out, this is about making money. Dana White said, this is about making money. He has fighters lined up. One more thing, it's so frustrating. I don't understand this, and I don't understand exactly how these guys can sell themselves out like that for this money. Literally sell themselves out.
Hey, Sal, I got a question for you. With them being so adamant about it's all about making the money, and like what Dax is alluding to, isn't that even sadder? And the fact is, what's it saying for the people that are prepared to buy this? That they're buying it for the entertainment value and not for what it's supposed to be, a real fight, even though none of us agree that it should be. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, it hurts because, as Dax said, they're flocking the fans, and the casual fan is going to be the market they're going after. And it's more than a black eye. It really is. I mean, it's a slap in the face, no pun intended, but because this is a farce. Like I said, it's a farce. It's not a fight. And the whole thing, as you alluded to, if it was an exhibition, we could all be on the same page. But it's not. This is the reality of where we are today in boxing. To have to come up and make an arena, an event bigger than what it is, and that's the fluff without the stuff. And it's done in marketing throughout the world every day in different venues. However, in a boxing world, a boxing arena, something that has been so caught on tradition and hardly evolved to anything else because it was perfect the way it was on some levels. It's just tarnishing the whole thing right now, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to be a part of it, but I'm not going to like it.
The funny thing is if this fight even becomes a little bit competitive, if Conor McGregor stuns Mayweather in some way, shape, or form, which I don't think he will, but if he does, you watch, somehow they'll disqualify Conor McGregor so Floyd doesn't lose. I'm telling you, Floyd cannot lose this fight. There will not be, even if Conor knocks him out somehow, they're going to end up making it as a DQ. I'm telling you, I can't see it. It's a travesty. Dax, I got two questions for you, and then we're going to move on. But first of all the fans that were there and the fans that seem to be following these show before the show, so to speak, do you think that they're there to get a glimpse at the circus? And do you think that they're actually going to buy this fight? I mean, are we witnessing, a preview of the numbers that they're going to do, or are people just taking advantage of the fact that they can go there for free as a spectator, get a glimpse of these two guys, and then realize that they're not going to spend their money? Are they attracting buys here?
These aren't all free. Don't be confused. These aren't all free. Some places are charging for these to go to these events. This isn't just wide open to the public and anybody just walk in. I know Toronto charged. These people are going to buy it. There's going to be boxing fans, like Sal just stated, I'm not going to like it, but I'm going to buy it. This is going to make these views, and it's going to sell exactly what they think, or maybe even exceed what they think. But, this isn't fun anymore. I wouldn't want my mother or my kids to watch this, even if this was the whole way that the sport evolves, like it or not. I don't want my kids watching that. I don't want, someplace I can't bring my mother, I can't bring my wife or so on, because if that's what the case may be, then you know what? I would sit there and I would watch movies with them where people are cursing and grinding, and, I would go into the pro wrestling business. That's... it's not boxing, I feel bad. They Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather both, they've slapped every single past great before them in the face, starting from Jim Corbett with his fights with John L. Sullivan, all the way to, the most recent guys, to guys like yesterday or on Wednesday's Blast from the Past, Floyd Patterson, or a guy like Sergio Martinez, or a guy like Vladimir and Vitaly Klitschko, who can go out there. They did their job. They carried themselves well, and they didn't have to degrade people and go through this big act. They did all their fighting inside the ring, and not every style is like that, but something, it's almost like, they're making a joke on these guys for doing something like that. Without money, understand, without the money involved, then, it's the money that's attracting people, and it's the money that's attracted people to Floyd Mayweather. It's that image of the money. I've had people say, what if Floyd never turned to Money Mayweather and he was still called, Pretty Boy Floyd? His image, he would not have become the star. And that's what he's selling. But as soon as this money goes away, whether or not it goes to the IRS or whether or not he blows it all gambling, in 15, 20 years, nobody's going to be really talking about him. This is not something you want to show your grandkids. Look what I did 25 years ago. What do you have to show for it, Grandpa? Well, I have nothing to show for it, but it was a lot of fun. Big deal. You went up there, you made a fool out of yourself. It's like that pretty girl in high school that you knew and you heard the last time she took a job at the strip club, make a little money for college, and then all of a sudden you see her 5 or 10 years ago, she's washed up. Nobody cares about her because she got involved in drugs or whatever the case may be, and you're just looking at her like a sad, pathetic figure. And that's what's going to happen with Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor. So Floyd Mayweather in the future, this is going to be his money, and nobody's going to care. And the same thing for Conor McGregor. And the very first person that one of them fights, should they fight afterwards and they beat him, they're going to become the superstar, and these guys are just going to become the black eye of both sports.
One last question. I got to take a break. Who was the crowd for in New York?
Conor McGregor, they were pro McGregor and still McGregor until McGregor came out with the whole little pimp act with the white robe on, until he started telling people, F you, come on up here, I run this mother. And, until he started making the comments about, didn't you know I'm half black, I'm black from the waist down, in reference to his genital size and all that, So that pretty much turned the crowd against him, everyone, whether or not they were the Irish or anything. It was just too over the top. They went too far. It's not an event no more. Now it's just vulgarity.
Yeah, and you just said it, vulgarity. I mean, to go there, it's not necessary. And I have no respect for these guys. I have no respect for that. Forget about it.
And those in charge, Sal, those in charge, like I said, they kept referencing in the press room about it's about money.
Yeah.
Dax,
it's sad.
Dax, not about a good show, it's about money.
I appreciate you filling us in on what took place at the McGregor-Mayweather press conference at the Barclays Center yesterday, and we'll look forward to your thoughts Monday, because we got a whole lot of really good fights taking place this weekend.
We got some real fights this weekend.
That's right, man. Thanks, Dax. We'll talk to you later.
Right,
take care, Dax.
That's Dax Khan, and giving us his thoughts on what took place at the Barclays Center. And Sal, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, I got a couple other things we want to talk about. So don't go nowhere. Sal and I will be back in 2.
Billy C will be right back. Part of the Billy C Boxing Network.
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks. Like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of Grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-290-8300.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Exercise year-round against a smooth current set to your desired pace and temperature. With our new underwater treadmill, you can walk or run without stressing your joints. Endless pools are simple to install and even simpler to maintain. The water stays crystal clear with almost no chlorine. Call for your free idea kit and experience the freedom of swimming at home.
Snacking has never been this exciting. At Graze.com, we combine wholesome ingredients with the flavors we all love to create over 100 exciting snacks. Like these. We'd love to send you a Graze sampler box for free. Just go to Graze.com, enter the code ENJOY36, and we'll mail your free box to your home or office. Join thousands of Grazers already in love with our exciting snacks. So come to Graze.com for your first box free.
Check out BillyCBoxing.com now, or feel the wrath of the mighty mustache.
Oh, that hurts! Why are you doing that to my face? I hate you!
That's BillyCBoxing.com. Consider this your warning. Now back to Billy C. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're back. You're watching and listening to the Billy C. Show. Glad you could be with us today. And Sal and I just heard some inside stuff that took place behind the scenes yesterday at the Barclays Center, Sal. And tell you the truth, it is what it is. This is a WWE event. And I just feel bad that so many young fans accept it. I think that's my biggest problem, to be honest with you, that, the acceptance factor. I'm okay with the fight as an exhibition. I'm okay with the show. I'm okay with everything. even the vulgarity that offend you and Dak so much. To me, if you look at it as a show and as entertainment, if you like that kind of thing, I'm all for it. But I feel sad that there are people out there, specifically younger fans, that are taking it serious and actually like it.
Well, it's I don't know what else to say, Bill. It's true. It's I don't like the vulgarity. I don't like where they have to go to that level to promote a fight or a fiasco, which it is. And you broke down intelligently 10 fights that are going to occur this weekend. And if you go to the ESPN boxing page, the only thing they have on there they're mentioning is the Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather fiasco in these press conferences. That's it. You just broke down 10 intelligent fights here that are going to occur. And on the ESPN boxing page, what's plastered all over the front thing, the only thing you see initially is all about the Floyd Mayweather Conor McGregor. It's bad because everyone's buying into it.
Well, like in business, you give the people what they want. You give the people what they want. They want it. They're asking for it.
They want it, and they're feeding into it. It's a machine. It's happening. The momentum and everything else. And but for the purist and the real fan and the real people that are paying attention to the world of boxing, this is just what it is. It is what it is.
Well, the sad part is going to be that Conor McGregor doesn't have a chance to win the fight. He doesn't have a chance physically. He doesn't have a chance technically. And even if he lands that lucky punch, which so many MMA fans are praying for, somehow they're going to rob him of it. The Nevada State Athletic Commission is in Floyd's pocket. There's no question about it. They let him get away with all kinds of special situations. They let him get away with things that other fighters don't. He writes all the rules. It's sickening to me that part of it is occurring. I only wish that they would have tried to have this fiasco take place in the state of New Jersey, because my man Larry Hazard would have never tolerated half the garbage, number one. And that's why let's be real, that's why they don't go to a place that's being governed, the sport of boxing being governed by people like Larry Hazard. I don't even think, and I'm pretty sure that he wouldn't have approved it as a sanctioned fight. Integrity comes in the picture at some point, and legitimacy has to I told you, Porky Pig taught me how to talk today. Legitimacy comes into play at some point, and both of these are not in play for this fight. And as far as I'm concerned, the state of Nevada and the Nevada State Athletic Commission has lost all credibility by sanctioning this as a real fight. Like I've said 100 million times, I'm okay with it, Sal, as an exhibition. 100% fine with it as an exhibition. No.
Well, I know you've said that, and I agree with you there. But like I said, it's a fiasco. It's going to happen. And you know what? I got to stay true to what I always profess. Conor McGregor does have a shot on any given night. So let's say he rocks the world. Let's say he lands a lucky shot. Let's say he runs across that ring and wades through a barrage of punches that Floyd's trying to get out of the corner, and he lands a blow to the body, or he does something. He double overs Floyd, and he hits him with a shot. I mean, you can't discount that's possible. And if that happens, well, you're going to see the biggest upset in the world, because on paper, black and white, this is not a real fight, number one. But number two, Floyd Mayweather should have his picking and just tear this guy apart and play with him. There's going to be a sparring session where Floyd's going to actually get another knockout.
If Conor McGregor wins this fight in any way, shape, or form, and it goes down on in the record books as a win for Conor McGregor, I don't care how it goes, it'll be the biggest upset in sports history.
Oh, yeah.
History.
They'll talk about it.
And I'm not just talking about boxing.
Years from now, they will talk about it.
I'm not just talking about boxing. I'm talking about in sports history. It would be the biggest upset And
it'll be the punch that rocks the world and shocks the world. So you know what? Maybe that's part of the allure of buying a ticket. Who knows? I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's the given in any fight, that anything is possible. Now, is it likely? No, it's not. Likely event is going to be exactly what we see on paper, black and white. That it's going to be Floyd Mayweather giving this guy a serious boxing lesson and not even having a glove land on Floyd.
Wait a minute.
That's what it should be.
Did you say black and white? Why do you got to get racial? Why do you got to
get
racial?
I'm just going, what the issues are. Let's look at the playing table in black and white issues here, that it's going to be just what it is. Floyd's going to tear this guy apart, and Floyd's going to look great doing it. But the bottom line, if this guy has a shot, a puncher's chance, he runs across that ring, he is relentless and just hits Floyd with a barrage of punches, and Floyd can't escape because he's going to throw him back in there with his arms and flinging this and that and everything else. They do that in boxing anyway sometimes. So I mean, it's not like he's going to break the MMA rules. He's not doing that. But if he's manhandling and toughing and roughing Floyd up and containing Floyd where he can't escape, and he just starts throwing a barrage of punches, and one of them catches Floyd, and he's lucky enough, and he hurts Floyd, well, you're going to see, like I said, they'll talk about this fight 100 years from now.
Yeah. I just hope they don't. Here I am. I'm actually saying, if Conor McGregor.
You're buying into my Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I know. If Conor McGregor does get close to hurting Floyd or whatever, I hope they don't rob him. I hope if he does land that lucky punch, they at least give it to him. But anyway, on this day, July 14th, in 2005, Roman Karmazin wins a 12-round decision over Kasim Uma to win the IBF World Junior Middleweight title, and that took place in Las Vegas. On this day in 1932, Maxie Rosenblum wins a 15-round decision over Lou Scosa to retain his World Light Heavyweight title. It took place in Buffalo, New York. On this day in 1985, Milton McCrory, remember him? Good fighter. Stops Carlos Trujillo in the third round to retain his WBC World Middleweight title. It took place in Monaco. On this day in 2001, Hall of Famer and who I regard as really one of the best fighters of all time. And unfortunately, a lot of you younger fans only saw him in the latter part of his career and probably think I'm nuts. But if you watch any of his fights prior to the Edwin Rosario fight, which made him change his style, Hector Camacho was one of the best. And on this day in 2001, Hector Camacho wins a 12-round decision over Roberto Duran in their super middleweight fight that took place in Denver. Now, this fight in 2001, like I said, was way past Hector Camacho's prime. He was top-notch in the mid-'80s, but he improved to 74 wins, 4 losses, and 2 draws. As Roberto Duran, he drops to 103 wins, 16 losses, and no draws, and that was Duran's last professional fight. On this day, July 14th, in 1925, former world champion and boxing Hall of Famer Pancho Villa died on this day, 10 days after he lost a controversial decision to Jimmy McLaren at Madison Square Garden. He died due to an infected tooth. He shouldn't have even fought. And back then, in 1925, having dental work was a serious thing. And for a 23-year-old, and that's all how old Pancho Villa was, to accomplish what he did in such a quick time, we were cheated, and he was cheated of some great things. And we would be talking about a guy like Pancho Villa today, about being one of the all-time greats, and he still, right now, is on my all-time great list. Pancho Villa was an extremely talented fighter. He died on this day at 23 years old. So that's what took place on this day, July 14th, in boxing history, Sal. And I tell you, I, for one, am looking forward to all the big fights this weekend, and, of course, returning on Monday to talk about them. So I'm going to leave everybody with this. Make sure you tune in Monday morning. Same bat time, same bat channel. Until then, ciao, baby.